My wife and I are both 29 years old. We were a couple when we were in high school and continued to be together in college. We also went to graduate school together. After that, I went to postgraduate training school for more education while she got a job as a part-time professor at a nearby college. She planned to finish her own education once I'm done with mine. We got married 8 years ago and have been together for 10 years. I finished my last training part early this year, and now I am moving to a new part of my job where I signed a really important agreement. In a few months, my salary, which is around $50,000 right now, will suddenly become 5 to 6 times bigger. This means that we can live a way of life that neither of us have ever had before. She's getting prepared to begin her advanced degree after I start my dream job. Both of us were incredibly close to finally getting the good things we've worked hard for and waiting patiently. In the fall semester, she will begin her higher studies and start working at the nearby college. Once she's done in 2 years, we are planning to live where we wish and enjoy the life we have always dreamed of in the way we want. Around 2 months before I begin my job, I felt happy because our life was going to change, but I noticed that my wife seemed a bit lost in her thought and distant. She was also acting strange, like she was hiding something. She was always texting, even when we were watching our favorite show. She had this odd smile whenever she texted, and when we were together, she kept looking at her phone as if she was waiting for a message. She often cancels our plan or things we're supposed to do together, and I ended up doing them alone. She usually says she needs to catch up on schoolwork as her reason. In early June, I started to notice she was using this excuse more often. On Memorial Day, I had to work, and I knew she would be at home doing her school task. Out of curiosity, I placed an old cell phone in the house with a voice recording app before I left. When I returned and listened to the voice recording, I heard a video call between her and a man I didn't recognize. They were discussing meeting up the next Friday after her class, and they were talking very openly about intimate things, saying hurtful things about me. It was clear they were getting very close during the conversation. The way they were talking made me think that the person might be another professor at our college. The sound wasn't very clear, but I used Audacity to remove the background noise and separate the voice. Now I'm completely sure that they have been having a secret relationship for a while because they sounded very comfortable with each other. While listening to the call, I discovered that he had been visiting my house to be intimate with my wife. I initially thought that this couldn't be true because I had security cameras watching the front door and the backyard. But I realized that if someone was entering through the garage, the front camera wouldn't capture them since it's positioned in a different direction. At first, I bought 3 cameras, but I only set up 2 of them. It took me a week to put up the one in the garage because I needed to hide it carefully so my wife wouldn't see it. It was tough to make sure she wouldn't find it. After I set up the camera in May, I didn't notice any sign of them in the garage. In early June, we stayed at the beach house about an hour away from our home. On the second to last day, our friends and I planned to go for an evening walk to the beach to see the sunset. However, my wife suddenly decided not to join us at the last moment. Since this happened unexpectedly often, I started to think that the person she was involved with might be coming to see her. I felt really hurt because she would invite him during our vacation with friends, which was meant to be a time for us to enjoy together. Because I didn't have the extra phone to record her talk, I turned my own phone to silence and used its voice recorder, then hid it. While walking with my friends, I couldn't stop thinking that my wife might be getting involved with someone while I was out. I couldn't understand why she would do this to us. It felt like a really foolish way to harm our relationship. We were so close to reaching our dreams after being together for all those years. When I returned to the beach house, I played the recording. I heard her letting someone in, and then I immediately heard sounds of intimacy and the voice of the person she's involved with. He must have come and waited until we all left the house before getting inside. I planned to talk to her about the proof I had, but I wanted to wait a little more to find out who the man was. She saw that I was unhappy, and she knew me so well that I couldn't hide it. I couldn't wait for the garage camera to reveal more, so I decided to search for more evidence on her phone. One night, while she was sleeping, I looked at her text messages and found a lot of very clear proof that they have been having a secret relationship for a while. It was clear that they have been involved for more time than I first believed. It was obvious that the person she was having a secret relationship with was one of her college students. This person had taken a class with her one semester, and they had been intimate during the time I wasn't aware of. They met much more frequently than I knew. Her student would park his car down the street and sneak into the house through the garage to avoid being seen by our security camera. She made plans to be together when I wasn't home or when I had to work overnight. She would make up stories about staying at work late so they could spend time together. They also had private moments at her office at the college during school hours. They were even intimate in our bed sometimes without even changing the sheets afterward. I found messages where they were planning things for the next 3 months, which is when my new job would often take me away from home. They talked about essentially living together in our house for a big part of the year and using the money from my higher income to do the things they wanted together. What was even more surprising was that it seemed my wife was the main one pushing their relationship forward. There were many instances when her affair partner seemed unsure, but my wife assured him she would handle it. She said she just needed to keep me content enough not to suspect anything. And soon, they could be together without any problems. The message I read made her sound like someone I didn't know, almost like a villain, and not at all like the person I have loved and been with for 10 years. Once I read the text messages, I couldn't handle it any longer. I didn't want to wait for the camera to show me proof. I had the audio recording and the text. When I played the recording to her and the person she was involved with, she was really surprised. After the initial surprise, she started to say that she didn't know what I was talking about. Even when I showed her pictures of her own messages, she still tries to say she wasn't having an affair. She planned to keep it going and use my money while having a secret life with her affair partner. We talked for hours, and eventually, she finally confessed to everything. I'm really confused at the moment. Throughout my adult life, I have always considered us as a team when making choices. We always worked together for a common goal, and we were so close to reaching it. I feel like I don't recognize her anymore, even though we have been together for more than a third of our life. Now that she's been found out, she said she ended her relationship with the student and wants to do whatever it needs to regain the trust between us. To me, this feels unbelievable. I learned he's only 19 years old, not even old enough to drink legally. The lack of respect is clear. They had intimate moments at her workplace, in the car I got her, in our garage, and even in our shared bed. She even messaged him afterward, saying she found it extra exciting. Even if I consider trying to mend things, I can't see how that's possible. After learning that I was funding their affair, I can't believe she would risk her future like this. She was meant to begin her postgraduate studies in the fall, and I was supposed to help her. That was our plan. It seems she might not realize how serious this is. She's attempting to create a way to prove she's not still involved with him. But I can't think of anything that would make me trust her completely. The things she's done in the past to trick me were very complex, and she's shown she can lie while looking me in the eyes and making me believe her. So it's hard to find something that would give me the confidence I need. So it's clear that we have to get a divorce. I wish I could say I'm completely sure, but I can't picture a future where we are not together. Even though I know we need to separate, her affair makes things more complicated. Her family is very religious, and there is a possibility they might cut ties with her because of her affair. Her family had witnessed the love and help I have provided through the years, and they consider me like a son, and possibly even closer to her parents than I am to my own. Moreover, her action at work might lead to her losing her job, as I wouldn't support her postgraduate studies or her college debts anymore. This could leave her with a massive debt of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it would be much harder for her to ever pay it off. Despite all that has happened, I don't want to completely ruin her personal life, family life, and career. So for now, I'm keeping this secret from nearly anyone else in our lives. We are trying to figure out a good reason for why a seemingly happy and accomplished couple like us would suddenly get a divorce, especially when we are so close to enjoying the things we work so hard to accomplish throughout our lives. The laws in our area need us to be formally separated for a long time. So we finished the initial version of this paperwork last night. To her credit, she's been cooperative with most of the things I have suggested for our divorce. I have tried to be fair, but also clear what I want and how we should divide what we have. In terms of money, I will end up a better financial position compared to her, for sure. I am also going to have both our pets with me, and that was a big deal for me. Right now, she hasn't hired her own lawyer, and unless we face something that we can't solve on our own, she doesn't plan to. Right now, there aren't any big arguments between us, but having a lawyer on my side gives me a good edge. Until we finish the official paperwork, I am still in the house, though we are in separate bedrooms. This makes it easier to talk to her about any other changes we might need. I'm planning to move out shortly after everything is settled. I hope it's soon. Regarding my job, I will begin it soon, and I won't be able to support her postgraduate studies as I had initially promised. This is because we will be separating and likely getting a divorce. Filling out the separation paperwork has made everything feel more real for both of us. I believe her tendency toward narcissism and manipulation, as explained before, made her think I wouldn't truly leave her. The thought that other people can make their own choices and that I can choose to leave, even while she might be a bit lost in our affair situation, might surprise her. But it's true. As soon as the separation time is over, I am going to start the process of getting a divorce. My friends have been really helpful and understanding. Both of our families have been very supportive, and they mostly seem to side with me when talking to them. I have limited my conversation with her to focus on discussing our separation and don't talk to her about my better future I see ahead. A few people have kindly offered me a place to stay while I figure out what to do next. I feel lucky to have such supportive options and the means to take some time to plan things. I can't imagine how much tougher this would be without those choices. A friend went with me to a bar to help me connect with someone romantically for the first time since I got together with my spouse when I was young. This was a completely new experience for me as an adult. I met some really interesting people, got to be part of a social event without my former spouse being the focus, and had a wonderful time. I have been thinking about the practical step I need to take to move forward. I am also trying to take care of myself, going to therapy, and getting back into hobbies that I hadn't been doing for a while. I believe that better days could be ahead for me, and I am grateful for the support from my loved ones and even people online who have reached out to me. Thank you for staying till the end of this video. Please support this channel by hitting the thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already. Now let's get some reaction from the comment section. Thank you and